Today we're going to have a look at two types of investors that jump into cryptocurrencies. And for today's video, we're looking at Cardano. We're doing an update of the price and where it currently sits, what our targets are, and then also looking at some on-chain analysis towards the end of the video. So make sure you stick around for the entire video. But before you do, hit that subscribe button and like the video up. It goes a long way in the algorithm to help more people see this Hopium-Free content and avoid getting wrecked by the Moonboy content. And that leads me on to the first piece, the two types of investors. And really, they're not both investors. One is trading and one is investing. So one's an investor and one is a trader. If you don't know what the difference is, because it's pretty common in cryptocurrency, especially as a new person to investing or buying assets, the word is used across both. Investing is used for trading and investing. An investor is someone who buys shares or stocks in a company with the goal to grow their investment over time. A trader, on the other hand, is someone who buys and sells shares quickly to try and profit from small price changes. So that's what we're looking at in today's video and giving us a time frame on the length of time that we could expect to wait as investors, or if we're looking to trade the market, and what we have to do if we trade the market. And of course, this is all leading into an update of the price for Cardano as well. I'm talking about this specifically around these timeframes and traders and investors because what we can see on the Cardano price chart and many cryptocurrencies is that they tend to move. And this is on a logarithmic chart now, so these moves look small, but they're actually reasonably big, from around that 9 cents to 18 cents. So that's a doubling there early on in a bear market as it was just leading into the bull market. So these moves are very short-lived before you get the huge emotional beating that can last for days, weeks, or even months, before you get that small glimmer of Moonboy hope that pumps the price up for a couple of weeks before you get the emotional beating again for more weeks than the price is pumped up for. And this is common across all cryptos at the moment, especially because they're new investments. It has a lot of very young-minded people in the space. It's not a derogatory term or trying to hit flack at some other people. It's just the way the markets are, and you can see it in the chart for now. And as they mature, you'll get more experienced traders in here and things become more difficult. So while things are easy going, try to learn as much as you can about the markets at these times, because the easy money won't be around forever. And if you can just understand that the Moonboy times only happen for a short period of time. The party is only around for a very small period of time before the hangover kicks in and lasts for, in this case, generally weeks to months. So taking a quick look at the chart, we won't dwell on this too much because we want to get up to date with some of the price targets, looking at ADA against Bitcoin, against ETH, against some of the other smart contracts, and of course the USD. Just as some time frames here, you can see 1, 2, 3 weeks up. So you got 3 nice, strong weeks for around 5 cents to 10 cents. And then nothing really happens during this period. Your portfolio comes all the way back down. Then you get excited as the market goes all the way back up to pretty much the same price as it was at the top. So not much more there. And then you go through this hangover that can last for about 46 weeks. So call it a year. Again, you get the move up a couple of weeks, 1, 2. This is on a weekly chart. Remember, we're not looking at small time frames here. We want the macro pictures because we want big rides. We want long, big rides to the moon, and this is as generally as long as they last. 1, 2 weeks, go down for 2 weeks, 3 weeks to the side. 1, 2, sideways, 3 weeks into the top. So about 3 to 4 weeks. And then you get the hangover again, which lasts a lot longer. So you get the picture here. The hangovers are heaps longer than the party time. And it goes for every part of the market. This period was the best party that Cardano had, was from December into late February, early March. So that was a couple of months there. January, February, 2 months. That was the best party Cardano has had, and we haven't seen one of those parties since. The closest we got was the previous one in August, which led into early September, and now we've been on a hangover for the last 2 months. And so what are we looking at here? Are we investors or are we traders? The investors come in during the hangover, and the traders are just there for the party. They're in and out. If you're trading, you want to get in and out. Don't stick around for the hangover. But at the moment, it looks like we're in another hangover, and we want to be dollar cost averaging in, getting better, putting some more cash in for the next party. Now, if we're looking to exit after this party is over, because maybe this is the final party until we go into a extra long hangover, then we want to have some price targets further up. And that's what you came here for. We're looking at the price targets. Because this range hasn't changed yet, we are looking at 2-cent low, well, 1.7 cent to a $3.16 high. So for round numbers, let's call it about a $3 range. That's going to give us some price targets further up of approximately, first one at around 450 to 550. Then the next targets are around that mid 6, so about 650. And the targets that I've talked about often on the channel are around that 750 level. This leads all the way up to around that $8. But the main thing I'm looking at here, if you guys want to know, is that I'm just going to throw on the 2. So that's at about 650. And then the 3 comes in at around 950. So that's basically a double of this price range. So what Cardano has already put in. This is the entire party that Cardano has had. And it's about a $3 party, $3.15 party. So if I take that party and throw the party on top of this, it brings me out to around 630. Do you think we can have doubling of that party? Do you think we can have tripling of that party? If we can get a triple of that party, that's going to lead us up to this range here, $9.50. So that's how much energy we need to get into the market in order to get to that $9.50 target. So I've said multiple times on the channel, looking at these price ranges around that 750 to about 1250, because that's one of these other figures up here, 1250, 4 times. So that's 4 times the range there. You don't want to get stuck on the top end at 1250, because if that party doesn't last until the early hours of the morning, you need to get home earlier than that point. And if you're stuck waiting for that party to end, then you might not ever make it to that price point, and you will come home and get wrecked in along with the hangover. So the beauty about it here is that we can see from previous history, the market gives us signs of when the party might be over. Now, if you're getting sick of my analogy using parties and hangovers, don't worry, I'll be over with it soon. But it's just to give you an idea that you can see that these weeks, you can see the weeks that are climbing up into the top are pretty straightforward. There's not too much sideways period. And if there is, the market's giving us signals that maybe the show's over, or maybe there's only one small party left before we come all the way back down into the hangover region. And so that's what we got here. So we looked at some price targets for ADA at the moment. This is the most boring, annoying period for a lot of people, as I saw in Twitter. So I posted this due for a price prediction, and there are quite a few comments like this as well. So I know that people are asking the question. They're seriously thinking about selling off their positions. And honestly, if that's your plan, then follow your plans. I don't want to stop you from following your plans. I'm just looking at the chart from what I'm seeing, and then noticing that when we do go through these periods, which I'm sure many of you have noticed as well, that eventually the party comes back to town. The hangover is cured and the party comes back. And that's all we're waiting for here. And following that, we can look at our ADA BTC chart. And so the ADA BTC chart isn't looking the best, but again, it's tanked back down to its 50% level. So these are some good support levels. And provided we hold up here, then we might get a move on the BTC chart, which also gives some strength to the ADA USD chart, providing Bitcoin is going up. So to get this good party going on, this is all down to Bitcoin as well. But Bitcoin's party needs to carry on, because that's when the rest of cryptocurrency carries on as well. There's not many cryptos out there which will go up without Bitcoin going up, unfortunately, at this point in time. So the Bitcoin party looks like it wants to continue. That's good news. If ADA continues to slide against its BTC value, then we'll continue to see ADA go sideways at around this $2 level. So just while we're here, the next support level down is around 160 to 180. So if we do get the drop down as a quick drop, like we've seen many times before, then that might be more good opportunity as an investor to be buying up a little bit more ADA if you think that party is going to go to $6, $7, $8, $9. Is that enough returns for many people? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they're looking for 100x returns. That's not what we're talking about here. And there are other bigger returns elsewhere, because we are looking at higher market cap cryptocurrencies, which do have the potential to go up in value as well. ADA ETH is the other chart I like to look at, because ETH is a big, strong player at the moment. And so if this is sliding against ETH, then of course the strength lies with ETH. So we want to make sure that we're getting good value against Ethereum. So ADA is going up against ETH, and it's going up against BTC. So as you can see for ADA ETH, this was a long hangover before we had a little bit of action against all of the cryptos. Now for the support zones on ETH, because last time we checked in on this chart, the ADA ETH chart, we were somewhere sitting above the 50% level. So this is now broken down, weaker sign. We're in the weaker half of our levels. Think of it like a moving average. You're underneath the moving average, so it hasn't bounced off that point yet. So looking at our support and resistance levels again, we're somewhere around that 0.0004 on ETH. That's our last line of support before we dive back down into that old hangover zone. So it doesn't mean that ADA USD can't go up, but you might be getting better returns elsewhere. And this is to give you the Hopium-Free side of Cardano, because I know there are a lot of moon boys in Cardano wanting just to pump that price up. And we're not about that. We want to see what is on the chart as well. So looking at the highs, we've now broken down beneath this level. And that's why I'm looking at this as one of the last levels. What does this mean to us? Well, it just means you have to sit around longer and get beaten up emotionally as that price goes sideways if we believe that the price is going to go a lot higher in the future. While we're waiting, then of course there is staking as well. And if you're unfamiliar, I have a link in the top of the video description, how to stake your Cardano. If you're unfamiliar with how to do that, the link is down there and there's easy instructions in that video. So go and check that out. Stake your ADA while you're waiting, making your interest on it, and just looking for those good times ahead. If you don't choose the Investor Accelerator staking pool, anyone can use it, then go and choose a different staking pool, just as long as you're staking your ADA if you're looking to be a long-term investor. However, if you're trading, then it's probably not something for you. You don't want to be locking your crypto up if you're just trading it for short-term gains. So at the moment, ADA is moving down against ETH, not the worst case scenario at the moment. It's just getting into that period where it might be a good dollar cost averaging. And we're seeing the same thing with ADA BTC. Maybe it breaks down this 50%, and then we have our next support zone at around 2,000 Satoshis. Now we're in the flow of the Hopium, the good news. Cardano on the on-chain analysis. The one I want to look at here, I've got a couple of them, is a concentration by large holders. So this is something moving forward to see that the networks are growing, or at least they're becoming a little more robust. So concentration by large holders, 26%. Whereas we look at ETH, then there's 42% concentration by large holders. So more of ETH is being held by less hands. And then if we look at Chainlink as an example, concentration by large holders, nearly 4/5, 4 out of every 5 link tokens is held by large holders. So this is a good sign for ADA that at least it's being decentralized and held by a lot of different hands. Now the next piece, holders composition by time held. We want to see this move more into the blue zone here. So being held for longer than 1 year. At the moment, only about 1 in 10 tokens or addresses here are holding for more than 1 year. So that's addresses. 74% between 1 year and 1 month and 12 months. And then less than 1 month seems to be the traders here. So we want to see this shift more into the investors, the people who are holding for a longer time, staking it, earning those rewards. And this takes the ADA out of circulation. As for ETH, this is kind of what we want to see. We want to see more of this move into the 1 year plus. So 61% of ETH is being held for 1 year plus, which might lean towards why the concentration is so high in ETH at the moment. 32% between 1 month and 12 months, and then there is far less people trading it, which gives you that movement on the price. If there's less of the ETH being going out there on exchanges, then that is going to shoot the price up if more people are becoming interested in it. So it gives you that supply shock. Chainlink, same sort of thing. It's moving over into that 1 year plus. So at the moment, still a lot in the 1 month to 12 months, and not too much on exchanges there. So just looking at Cardano one last time, there's a fair bit more out there, but over time, we want to see that shift into the 1 year plus. If you want to learn more about trading and investing in cryptocurrencies, plus the economic cycle, which is picking up steam at the moment, property prices are up, stock markets are up, and we will come to an ultimate bust in the coming years, but it's not happening just yet. But if you do want to learn more about that, link to our free newsletter is down below. New newsletter is coming out this week, comes out once every 2 weeks. So drop your details down below. And if you want to learn even more, we've got TIA Lite, which is the Patreon group, and TIA Premium, which is the trading crypto course group as well. All the links to this are down below. And as for the sponsor of the channel, check out New Brighton Capital. This is to get your superannuation into an SMSF in order to buy cryptocurrencies or metals or property as well. So you can get a free 20-minute consultation using the link down below. Use Pizzino, and you can get $150 free credit if you complete the SMSF application. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe the video. I'll see you guys on Instagram, Twitter, or in the Patreon group. Catch you at the next video. Until then, have more fun to get more done.